What's good? What's going on? Welcome, Stand Up Podcast. I'm your boy, Daniel Royce. Thank you for tuning in. Our last episode of the year. And I'm joined by my co-host. What's good?
What's up, y'all? This is going to be a very special episode. My name is Michael Houston, and we are here celebrating the life of the one and only Whitney Houston. Woo! With a very, very special person in her life.
Yes.
Winston Virgo.
Winston Virgo in the house. Comedian, producer, philanthropist, manager. Out here killing it. How you doing?
And I'm Jamaican. So.
And he's Jamaican.
Five jobs is mine.
Come on.
Yeah, 5 jobs. How you doing today, man?
I'm awesome, man. So glad to be here and just to be a part of this and the legacy of Nippy, Whitney Houston.
Yes,
I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So real quick, the movie is coming out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
What's one of the things that you look forward to seeing within it?
Just, I would say the journey of, hopefully they did it in a way where the journey of how she started and to, unfortunately, her death and all those things that took place in her life that stood out,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. Hopefully it's everything that I expect it to be. I'm pretty excited to see that, yeah.
What is one thing that you hope that the audience, the general population, will get from this movie about her life? Something that we may not really know.
I would say just how funny she was. And even in the midst of whatever storm she was going through, she just had this energy and that smile. When she smiled, she could just melt butter.
Yeah.
She was, even whatever she was going through, she never had that on the surface, during that interaction, but how caring she was. I think hopefully they see that in it, Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, we're going to get back into Whitney in a little bit, but I want to start off your start in the entertainment, right?
Yeah.
As a comedian, first off, let's start off with stand-up. So what got you into that?
I was a class clown. I was a class clown, man, in school, and I remember my teacher saying to me, and I was in a drama class. She said, "Winston, you're funny. You need to do comedy. You're my best student." I'm like, "I'm your only student. I'm the only one in there. Nobody wanted a drama class. I'm the only one in there." So, but no, it was. I was like, you know what? Let me focus on that and do comedy. So I would do when my family would have
Right.
gatherings. They're like, "Winston here is going to do a little stand-up, guys." Yeah. And you could hear a cricket fart because they were like, But I think me watching TV, and to tell you how old I am, I was watching videos, video cassette. You guys know what that is?
All right, it's not that now. Something.
Yeah. VCR, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, something like that.
So watching Eddie and all the greats, Red Fox, and then I end up doing nightclubs, and later on, my first show I did actually, I got a manager. It was, which is the craziest thing. It's all tied in. Tony Wells was my manager, who his girlfriend was Tawana Ross, who sung for Whitney, background singer. So the first gig he gave me was to perform for Dennis Thomas, the late Michelle Thomas dad from Kool and the Gang, at their house. And I was I think I was about 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dirty mouth. Dirty mouth. And I remember going on stage and telling this dirty joke. And they said, "Take him off the stage." And I remember crying, they're like, "No, you're too young to be saying stuff like this." And I end up pretty much restructuring my comedy.
Right.
And my first big gig was opening up for Martin Lawrence for the Martin Lawrence show.
Nice.
So it was at Jack the Rapper. I don't know if you know Jack the Rapper in Atlanta. So I did that there, and that's where I started doing comedy. And from there, I did BT Comic View. I did Moesha, all those different things, and I just putting the training and studying your craft.
Right.
I enjoy that. It's the only thing I say right now, being on the stage, where you're relying on your memory. and you're creating a story as a comedian for the audience to follow and laugh. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you've been in the game for quite some time, too. I mean, and then obviously you're doing everything. You're Jamaican, so you're doing everything.
Okay. I'm the laziest of my family, by the way.
The laziest,
you only got 5 jobs. Your sister got 7 jobs.
People don't really understand the craft of comedy in terms of like where you start, in terms of your persona, if you will, and then restructuring and then learning. And I'm sure you probably have the same sentiment, like the greats, you get to a point where you are creating stories. It's not just bit by bit by bit. There's a whole story that you're creating. That's what really captivates Dave Chappelle's, Eddie's, George, all these people.
And we didn't have the resources like you guys have right now. You know what I mean? We had to go to the library to find out the latest magazine that's coming out to see what they're talking about. We had to go and microfiche, which pretty much not even a computer, but just a scan clippings of newspaper articles and all that stuff. So even with this generation with Instagram, like anybody could become famous now through Instagram. But how can you sustain when you're just making these small clips? Can you do something for like an hour and a half on stage? You know, so back then you look at all the greats and how they did their mannerism, how they command the attention of their audience. And you're like, oh my God, I want to be like Eddie Murphy. I want to be like Red Fox. I like the way that he commands that audience. So
But when you have like a lot more to lose, and when you have like you know, you have to do a lot more to achieve something, you appreciate it that much more. And I think nowadays you can everything's so attainable, it's easily at your fingertips. You don't really appreciate it a lot that you used to.
No.
You know what I mean? As a whole, as a society. But so okay, let's get into your philanthropy too. What do you got? Because you be doing a lot of stuff.
I try to attach myself to a lot of grassroots stuff, like Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I did Music Men Mind, which is an organization that pretty much help people with memory loss, with musicians.
Oh wow!
Which is another thing that I think about is, and I did know none of this stuff. They brought me in, not even know my background, but working at Wells Fargo at the time, I was able to meet this lady who, she's like, I wanted to put you on the board of Music Men's Mind. Okay, it's these musicians, they have Alzheimer's. Once they play their instruments, it comes back. And guess who was the one guy that I became real cool with? Gary LaMelle, who did The Bodyguard. Which I didn't. He produced The Bodyguard, the music of The Bodyguard, Maureen Crowe. And I'm like, Gary LaMelle? And I remember, even though I had it, and I was like, I remember you from back in the day with The Bodyguard and music and all that stuff. And I hugged him and like, Whitney. And he was like,
oh my God.
So it's kind of weird how everything is like connected in a certain way. But I do that, help them out. And also, I had my Winston Virgo workshop, which I go to the library and just basically do a little stand-up, little history of myself. And I get donations, give them like gift cards, T-shirts and all that stuff, and my story. And to ensure that they know that where we are in life doesn't mean where you're going to be tomorrow. Even though you might feel like you're hopeless helpless and hopeless, that's not your destination. And just know that we need people to harness them with our own journey, so they understand. So I do that as well. For sure. Yeah.
And then you also did some things with Whitney Houston Foundation for Children.
Yeah, Whitney Houston Foundation. That was one of my biggest thing, man. The Whitney Houston Foundation for Children, I would do that every year around Christmas time. We'll, give gifts out to the kids, homeless kids, and it was so dear to me. And she loved the fact that I was a part of that. That she actually, in the Greatest Hit album, she gave me a shout out in there. She gave me a shout out. Thanks for just being that great to my foundation. And she changed a lot of lives with that, man. It was like those kids and the gifts, and everybody was giving her like crazy. I'm like, oh my, can I take one of these bags on for myself? You know what I mean? It was like some major gifts, man. But I love what her foundation stood for, and I know that they reactivated it. Something that I actually told them. I told Pat, I said, I think you guys should reactivate the Whitney Houston Foundation for Children because it's so dear to her.
Right.
They just did this. Hopefully they're doing the same thing.
I saw it in Jersey. I saw a clip.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but it was always, that was always my fun time, would be that event and just volunteer and just help out. You know,
Yeah.
she came there like faithfully, man, and just they had access to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so, I mean, you told me a lot of crazy stories of you and Whitney. It was
Oh
some
my God.
hilarious stories. But
Whitney could be a
tell
comedian.
us, like, what's... yeah.
She could be a comedian.
Tell us, like, the first time you two met. And how that...
Oh, yeah, that was us. I remember my friend Eunice Rideout, she was like, you know Whitney Houston lived next door to you, right? I'm like, no, she don't. Her first album just came out. And I was like, I'm like, does she read? I cut school, knocked on her door. This lady comes out, statuesque, that's real tall. She's like, I was like, oh my God, you're Whitney Houston. She said, yeah, baby. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're Whitney Houston. She said, weren't you in school? I was like, they gave us the day off. She said, oh, you got them dog eyes. You know. And that was it, man.
Yeah,
I stood there, talked to her. I said, I want to be a comedian. Made her laugh. I was 14.
Wow.
And that was it, man. That was it. We were like thick as thieves. She was, you know, and the thing, you hear in an interview, she loved kids. She really loved kids.
Yeah.
Really loved kids. But yeah, she was just hilarious. I remember one funny story. I'll tell you this funny story. I was at her hotel, the Bel Air Hotel. She said she always liked the Bel Air Hotel because it was this breeze that was over there, so cool. And the phone rang. She called me Win. The phone rang, and it's the person says, hello, can I speak to Nippy? I'm like, who is this? Michael Jackson. And I was like, hold on, Mike. I was like, wait, it's Mike. She's like, oh, not today. You ain't gonna talk my ears off. You're not gonna talk my ears off. You know.
Mike a talk.
Yeah. And I was like, Mike, she said, can you call back? She said, okay, all right, I'll call her back. What are you doing? It's just like, hang the phone up, man. She said, I love Michael. I love Michael. She said, but no. She said, sometimes she remember one time Michael called her and she's like, yeah, you know, it's just a lot going on. And she put the phone down, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because she loved peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She picked the phone back up. She said, that damn Joe. I said, yeah, Joe would let us work for hours. Just work for hours. Yeah, but she
just put it back down.
Like, that damn Joe. No, Janet didn't get none of that. Janet didn't feel what we went through. Yeah, but she was hilarious, man. Just so funny. She was just so funny.
I think that was a good response to anything. That damn Joe, just like
yeah. She said she could put the phone down and probably vacuum or whatever, and just say Joe was the marking point. Yeah. She's like, that damn Joe.
Yeah. What was okay between Michael? Because I believe I heard that she was. You can tell. I just can't stop loving you. That song. It seemed like it was for her voice. I just can't stop loving you. So between Michael and Luther, because you know she loved Luther.
She loved Luther, man. Oh my God.
Which collaboration of a song do you think you would have preferred?
You know what? I heard some songs. Like I like Michael because Michael. I think if they both even do a duet, it would have been bananas. Oh yeah. But I Can't Stop Loving. She would have tore that up.
I know.
She would have tore it up because I heard her sing. I was watching a video when she was singing "Wanna Be Starting Something."
Oh yeah. She
tore it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she tore it up.
Yeah, she
and
turned
she sung
up.
Anita Baker's "Sweet Love."
She also did. I remember she did "The Heat." Tony Braxton.
Oh my God.
And I was at a concert. She did that. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When did you, I guess, start? So after you met her when you was 14.
Yeah.
When did y'all start to become close? Like you was around her more, get into it, and tours and all of that?
Yeah, it was. I was always there because she always would just like anytime I called her. First of all, she would just answer like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm at home, just hanging out." She said, "You want to go to the mall?" Like, oh yeah. Whitney, yeah. But that, and then later on, she wanted to manage me. They flew me out. I was living in Florida at the time, so they flew me out to New Jersey and everything. And she was very professional when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Right. To give you that experience. Because even though she know you, she want to give you that experience. Right. You know what I mean? And be professional about it. But I ended up doing certain shows with her on the tour. Yeah. I did a couple dates with her on the My Love Is Your tour, and I did a couple things like parties that she had and all that stuff. But she was just always there, man. She would be like, and just generous. Yeah. When she didn't have to be, you know what I mean?
Tell us a good story, like when you were out with her in public, and something that may have happened.
I think, matter of fact, one of the things is, like, I remember we were talking earlier before the podcast about how she was, the way she would sing and all the things. We were in Miami. It was the rehearsal for the Bodyguard tour, and we were at the PBS station in Miami. She had a rehearsal space there, and she held a mic, and then she went to the right, and she started smiling. She said, "They love when I do that." So she was strategic. Wow. So, or she bow her head. She wait for the crowd to applaud. Right. Yeah. She would smile, and then get into the song. She when she did those, anytime you'd see her doing a show, it was all strategic. She know what the crowd love, and how to do that. She know that she had to bow her head, get up, and smile.
You see that in the Bodyguard tour in Brazil, South Africa.
Yeah, she did that. So I saw that. I remember one time she was in the studio and she was rehearsing. She's like pretending she was Aretha Franklin. She's like, "I'm tired. I lost my man. I'm tired of touring." She was so funny, man. She could have been a comedian. And but she just one time we were in Miami, the same time rehearsals. We went to see What's Love Got to Do with It. So I went, and me and Robin went and got the tickets first. Got the tickets first, and it was me, Bobby, Robin, and Whitney. We went to see What's Love Got to Do with It, and Whitney's kind of unrecognizable with no makeup because she got freckles on her nose and all that stuff. But Bobby, makeup or no makeup, Bobby's like Bobby. So this guy was like, "Yeah, Bobby Brown. Man, I got a demo I want to give you. Oh, Whitney." And Whitney's like, "Look, you know where the office is. Send a demo." Guy comes sit next to us. She's like, she went like this, and the dude, I know she just looked at him like, and he just got up. I'm like, you know what I mean? But she was very territorial when it comes to her piece. Right. You know what I mean?
No, that's good. That's
very territorial.
That's what people don't like. From 85, 86 when she first started touring, all the way up to My Love Is Your Love, and then after, she's been performing on. So I can imagine just the one slice of peace she just wants for herself. Like that kind of work ethic. Yeah. And then vocally during these concerts, she did not hold back.
She didn't know. And when she was out there, it was the spirit. It was all that. She gave it her all. Bobby, on the other hand, he liked the thing. So he talked to the guy for a little bit. Just sent it to to Nippy Inc. In Fort Lee. Yeah, but she treasured that time with her family and her friends, and but she looked at you a certain way. She mean like. She was awesome, man. Yeah, without words, you know what I mean?
Without words. I love that. So what's going on with you like now? What's some of your upcoming projects? I know you got some dope meetings coming ahead.
Yeah, I do got some meetings coming up.
So what's on the radar for you?
You know what? I said I wasn't going to do no more interviews about Whitney because I wanted her to rest in peace, and I tried to do, but I had to do it. I felt the energy to do it. But we all go through life. There's a crossroad, and I think I'm at a crossroad right now. Since COVID, you look at life so much different with a different lens because it's like it could be taken at any given time. You look like artists like Celine Dion. Yeah. And my heart goes out to her and her family, man, because when that's what you have, that gift, you know what I mean? And that's all you know. So it's like, now for me, it's like, what is I don't want to sound like a cliche, my purpose. Because it's something that's used so loosely. Right. What is my purpose? But what is my direction? And what does the creator have for me? I know I got to put the work in, because that's the only way the creator work is you got to put the work in. Right. So right now, I just want to produce television and do movies. I got a couple meetings coming up, and I'm going to do that. Anything, I feel like, I don't know if you guys feel like I do, but the Lord always direct you where you need to be. Yeah. And then you just put that work in where He lets you be. And I think that's the part where I'm at right now, and just trying to figure it out. And I want to work on some projects with you as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got some stuff coming up.
Yeah, so that's going to be awesome. So, but no, in my life right now, it's what I could do for in a genuine way, what I could do for each other. Yeah. Right. Because so many times you get to a level where it's like you feel like you got to keep it to yourself. And I learned that from Whitney. I learned that from her, that I don't care who you are, how famous you are. If I want to help somebody on any level, she took that time. I remember one time when she kicked off the My Love, Your Love tour, I was on the road with 60 kids. We took 60 kids, 30 kids from Philly, 30 kids from Delaware, and we took them cross country. And Whitney, we had just did Oprah for the My Love Is Your tour, and we were in Chicago when the tour kicked off at the Era Crown Theater. Hey. And I called Nip. I was like, Nip, I got 60 kids. Can they come in to the rehearsal space? Yeah. She said, baby, come on, bring them in. And I brought all 60 kids to the Era Crown Theater to see her rehearse. You know, and she did that. She didn't care. She didn't care. You know what I mean? If she could help, she was always. If you look at her work and the amount of charity stuff she did, there's a lot of things that she's done that she didn't tell the world. Right. You know what I mean? And that's all she was. She didn't need validation from the media. She did it from her heart, and that's something I took away from her as well. Is just her honest caring, you know, for people. Right. You know, so. Yeah,
speaking of caring, let's play that. Let's get that clip.
Oh yeah, because this is. I cringe when I cringe when I hear myself, because I'm like, damn.
Just the fact of
I was such a nerd, man.
This shows like your two's relationship, like just the fact of.
All right.
All this is great.
She had just got off tour. This was the tour she did, the Greatest Love of All tour. She just came home. And I called her because I wanted some tickets. And Robin answers the phone, and then Whitney comes on. So I'll play it for you guys.
Hello? I'm trying to go back. Is she awake yet? No. She isn't? Nope. Well, I just came back today? She's on the phone now. She on the phone?
Such a nerd.
Hello. Hello, Whitney, how you doing? Fine. That's good. I can ask you some favors. I need some tickets to come see you. Where? At the Garden State Arts Center. Yeah. I need 4. 4? Yeah. All right, I'll take it. Where? At the Garden State Arts Center. And I need that another favor. What? I want to come to your birthday party, and I'll give you the best gift whatever. Yeah, August the 9th. August the 9th. Where am I going to be on? Palladium. Where? Palladium. You your birthday. North Carolina? I'm afraid but I can't make it there. Yeah, so, all right, I know you're real tired.
She sounds exhausted.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to you some other time, right? Bye.
She took my calls every time. She took my calls every time, and she was just. And it hurts me sometimes when I think of how the media make it seem like it was all drugs and her life. Her life was way bigger than her addiction. We all have our addiction, and none of us could judge anyone. You know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, she always took the time for me, and just. That's a good friend, man. I feel her energy in there for some reason, man.
We brought it in. Awesome. We brought it in.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna go into our current discussion, but we already touched on it already. I want to dance with somebody. But Mike, do you have anything you want to ask about it?
I got no current. I'm gonna keep talking about Whitney.
Okay,
So
yes.
that ain't current. So I read your Newsweek article in which you expressed that part of you felt that you didn't want to overstep.
Yeah.
Right. But part of you also wish you had.
Did, yeah.
So what was that time? Take us or walk us through that time in which you started to notice and even hear like the decline of the voice, or like just you started to see things and you was like, oh man, should I say something? Should I not?
Yeah, it was, the thing about her was, like, I remember we went to the Grammys, and that was the year where she
94?
Where she said, Bobby, the king of R&B.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2000.
Yeah. And
King of R&B.
Yeah, she was just kind of, and I was like, I just thought that was just her, you know what I mean? Because one thing she never did, she never let me see her in the sense of doing drugs or nothing.
Right.
But, and I guess I was in denial because I've heard people say it. I'm like, no, she's not. Like, my family was like, she's on drugs. I'm like, no, she's not. I think it was actually after, I saw the decline from, after My Love Is Your Love was when you really saw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like she had did the Just Whitney album.
Yeah.
And her voice started to, it sounded heavy.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't belting out those notes that she typically did. But when I really, the confirmation of her on drugs, it was a Diane Sawyer interview. It was that Diane Sawyer interview when she said it out of her own mouth.
Yeah.
And when I saw like all the things that was going on, I was like, I loved her. I wanted to, like, like, is there anything I could do? You know what I mean? Like that, you know what I mean? But I was talking to her cousin Lori the other day, and she's, she said to me, she's like, we just need to treasure the time that we spent with her because she was so awesome, in spite of all the stuff that she was going through. Because you think about it, you're an iconic figure. There's a lot of forces against you in this world.
Yeah. You're
all over the place. There's so many different forces against you. When you become an icon, always know this, that your life is temporary. It will be cut short. And if you look at all the greats, man, how their life was cut short. Yeah. But she carried that weight, man. I wish I did. I wish I could have said, instead of making her laugh, have those conversations with her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Because she knew me. I was from 14.
Right.
And she was the same person. You know what I mean? I remember the last time I spoke to her when she did the Sparkles. And she said, I was like, proud of this. I can't wait for you to see it. Call in so that you could, come to the premiere. But yeah, I miss my friend, man.
I don't know if it was the Oprah interview, which one it was, but, when people talk about, oh, well, she abused her gift, all this kind of stuff, she was like, I was tired. She always said she wanted to have her island.
Yeah.
To stand.
She did say that,
and just her. But it's like people don't realize having that kind of dedication to your craft on tour, through and through, miscarriages. I mean, so much.
Yeah. It was a lot. She was kind of a lot. She was kind of a lot for her family, for herself.
Yeah, for her family.
And she was fighting for life. She was fighting for love.
Right.
Yeah.
She loved the world.
Yeah.
She loved the world, and she couldn't find even her own backyard. And I think that even when she got married, she went into a marriage of like, this is my husband, and this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Nobody goes to marriage and say, I think I'll just be with the person for like 5 years, give or take. No, she was in it because she loved him, and she stood in there even through the darkest time, and she had to deal with that, plus to make sure that she was on top of her game for the world. You know what I mean? That's a lot.
Yeah.
And your relationship kind of continued a little bit, with the family after her passing. Obviously, you're still in contact with someone.
I keep up.
Have you heard anything about the film Within the Family? Or Bobby?
I saw Bobby not too long ago at Bobby Christina Serenity House gala. We didn't really talk about that, but just just being even at a gala, just reflecting on her, and if she was here today. But I talked to Lori, Whitney's cousin, and she's optimistic. She hopes it's a great thing, and it shows her in a light where every other movie showed her in a light where it's just like drug riddled life. Her life was way more than the drugs. And I think the world prioritized addiction. If something got a hold of you, I don't care if it's shopping or whatever, eating, it's an addiction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so.
That's why Dion was tired. Dion didn't even say nothing about the movie yet.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of things remember they did a part with the documentary. And I know how Whitney loved Dee Dee. I know she loved her cousin Dee Dee. You know what I mean? And that old thing with that, was to me a little bit much. Even Dion backed that up. That never happened.
Right. Yeah. That's what. Speaking of biopics, though, like Whoopi just came out and said, I think she put it in her will.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
She was like, "Ain't nobody touching my story until my family's." And I was like, "That is so smart."
That is
because they will, like you said, magnify like the one little inkling thing that'll make you look totally different.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
It's crazy. What's one of the greatest memories you walk away with out of all the tours, all the backstage stuff, all the public stuff? What's one memory that you walk away with?
And your favorite song?
Yeah.
Your favorite
song. My favorite song. Mm-hmm. I told her this. I said they should have released. I said they should have released this song. Was "The Moment of Truth."
Wow.
Either we win or we lose. So I told her, I said, you should have released that, because it was on the flip side. I was like, no, this is a great. She said, you think so, baby?
You think so?
Yeah, you know what I mean? One thing I would take away from that, and it's always just a recognition of me. Every time she sees me, her face illuminated. And I could be in a distance. She'd be like, Win, come here. But she was just consistent. You don't find too many artists that's consistent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
No, you got some work to do, because I know we already trying to see if I'm related to her.
Yeah,
Houston and Michael.
I already know. I don't need to confirm to me, goddamn. I already know.
We go even further back. It's crazy. Drinkard and McCaskill on both sides. I was like, this is too much. But it's crazy. But I want to say thank you so much for joining us and talking about Whitney. I know you was hesitant to keep talking about her and wanted to let her rest, but thank you for giving us this opportunity. It's dope. We all in here.
You got awesome. I feel that energy. No, you guys.
No,
this is amazing.
It was incredible. But I do want to say, like, you being a manager, you're a philanthropist and comedian, and you got a lot of stuff like coming ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to be your friend, because I can see you just grow, and it's gonna be dope. Gemini gang, we up here.
Oh, you're a Gemini too?
Yes, sir.
Libra. But Libra's Gemini.
You get along. Because we always feel like we're on the side.
Well, we have Whitney in common. I mean,
For sure. But thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Stand Up Podcast. Go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
How you doing? Okay, so my name is Winston Virgo, and you could find me in periodicals like the Newsweek and the library. I'm so old. I'm sorry. Winston Virgo on Instagram, and Winston Virgo on Facebook.
Everywhere, right?
Everywhere, yeah.
Just Google him. Winston Virgo. Let's Google him. Let's pull that card. Wait, you just did an interview like a week ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I'm not yet.
That's out yet or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that. We can speak about Whitney a little bit more. And Big Mike.
You can find me on Instagram, life.with.mike, and Michael Houston eventually. I'm going to claim that name on Instagram. I already trademarked that motherfucker. All right.
Yes. It's taken already?
It's taken. I'm pretty sure the guy's dead.
It's probably Michael.
Well, no, it's not him.
It's not him, okay.
Yeah, no.
It's probably
the chat. It's just some random guy.
You was going to say he was Michael. Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
I'm like, Michael, you need it or not, Michael?
I know. Like, please, release it.
Yeah, right.
All right, you can find me everywhere at I Am Danny Royce. You can find the podcast at Stand Up Podcast. Also, check us out everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We everywhere. See you next year. Shit. All right. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.